Greetings and gentlemen. This is Rock Roll Spotlight Action with the weekly comic book roundup. Uh, Decent haul this week. So we'll just get started, shall we? Let's start off with X-Men Gold number 32. Continuing the Prestige Dark story. We pick up where the last issue left off with Iceman and Pyro confronting Prestige in front of the Claiborne Hotel. And then you rewind back to 20 minutes earlier. Where we find that Pyro and Iceman spent the night together, which admittedly, my guess was they were going to become a couple, but yeah, this is there's a good chance it's going to end up happening. I would still say. Anyways, they talk. Bobby suggested, last time was a one-time thing. And they hear that, thump from upstairs. Kurt and Rachel's room. They get dressed and go check it out, and they find Kurt unconscious. Meanwhile, on the patio, Storm and Ileana are having breakfast, and Ileana is still beating herself up about the fact, her claim that she basically planted the seed in Kitty's head to not marry Peter after all. And Storm was like, hey, you're trying to be a good friend talking to her. You're not trying to plant a seed of doubt or anything. And then Ileana takes a header into her breakfast, and then a Markwood Sentinel appears. Said Sentinel quickly dispatches Storm, though when she lands on the ground, she's completely uninjured, just unconscious. Gosh. Get out of here. Psylocke and Armor see what's up, and Psylocke realizes fairly quickly it was a psychic attack, and is also knocked out. Meanwhile, and then we found out that it was Prestige who took out Psylocke, who then knocks out Armor. We see that from Armor, from Rachel's perspective, she's in her youth, basically, Days of Future Past timeline. And her handler is telling her, good job, beauty. But there's still a bunch of them up ahead. Anyway, so Pyro, Iceman, and Nightcrawler try to go to find her. And they come upon her, and Rachel apologizes and once again knocks out Kurt. then after she attacks Cyclops, that does not actually kill him, though she perceives she did. Pyro and Iceman try to talk her down. Iceman doing more talking. Pyro more, but we don't, we don't want to hurt you, but we will put you down if we have to. Scott tries to talk, young Scott tries to talk some sense into her. And then it's Mesmero's influence, who is appearing to be her handler. Finally, she turns to, like I said, Mesmero's influence, and basically, says, she took the name Prestige, put the past behind her. No more Phoenix, no more Marvel Girl. No more past, no more future. Just me, moving forward. And a little, her psychic fan goes away, and Iceman asks if she's all right, and Rachel looks down at the unconscious bodies of Kitty and Kurt, and kind of says, I don't know. That's where the issue ends. Not a bad, good way of wrapping up the story. I actually really like that the future delusion from last issue. I kind of thought that was made for a neat future tale. Anyways, moving on to X-Men Red number 6. So, kick off with some narration from Cassandra Nova. Talks about how Xavier tried to kill her in the womb, and she has she's been taking care of. She's basically controlling Forge, so he's making whatever it is she needs. And she asks him if he knows what animal kills the most people. Like mosquitoes. She said, that's right, it's when a human sees a mosquito, they squash it without a thought. It's instinct. And she says that's all that she wants. She wants to extend it to mutants. Well, every time a new mutant is born, she wants humanity to instinctively squash it. And she mentions that Mandela said, people must learn to hate. She's paraphrasing, and she's giving a lot of lovey-dovey inclusion stuff. He was right. People must learn to hate. And Cassandra Nova means to be their teacher. Anyways, you get a flashback of Gennels. Turns out that his mother was Wakandan. His father was not. But she was not too fond of the fact that her son was a mutant. However, her second husband basically, his mother uh, abused him, mostly emotionally, but also a little bit physically. For the work that Jean is working with him. It turns out that everything he goes through for his power, it's not physical. It's actually related to being abused by his mother, and she basically undoes it, so that it no longer the trigger effect no longer happens. You find out that Gene is building a Cerebro in Atlantis, which Honey Badger simply calls Cerebro, as in the sea. Of course, Gene's given decide on the name. And she says, "You'll come around. You may be a mega level telepath, but I will get in your head, Jean Grey." She's pushing the name, and it does work. It turns out that the ambassador who died at the end of the first issue, her cell phone more than likely caught the conversation between her and Jean Grey, which was actually a conversation between Jean Grey and Cassandra Nova. Gambit's going to lead a mission to retrieve the cell phone of the dead ambassador. And then Jean tries to find Cassandra Nova, and she does. They have themselves a little mental back and forth while Cassandra Nova makes plans to attack Atlantis with I think that's Kid Abomination, though. Not the other thing. Okay. It's not. that I think called. Swear there was a character called Kid Abomination. Okay. Ah. Oh. Um, okay, all right. There is Teen Abomination. Okay. Go away, Cokehead. We don't want you. We don't want you here. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's in all right. All right. Yep. That's Teen Abomination being dropped on Atlantis. We'll see what happens next issue with that. All right. Let's go. Okay. All right. Next up, we've got Cable number 159, continuing actually concluding the story that we've been getting, the Metis story. So kick off 2,000 years in the future with young Cable and his friends walking around town or talking about having seen mutants. And you guys, one of his friends saying, "I once saw a guy whose whole body's made of ice." Yeah, well, so, I know someone who can make themselves into anything. They're being kids, basically. It's actually. Yes, Jason, I am live. I almost went live a few hours ago, but opted out to opted to sleep because kind of needed it. By the way, the photo vlogs look really good, man. And welcome, dude. So anyway, they end up asking, young Cable what, if he'd seen it, any etc. And he says, well, my dad can shoot lasers out of his eyes. And you're like, oh, come on, that's bullshit. No way. So then they asked him about his arm, and he tries to, did it, just get cut off or something? And he says, no, it just makes him different. The kids all laugh, except for one who, tells him that he thinks it's pretty rad. Turns out that this friend of Cable's is mutant and shapeshifter. It's like he won't tell them their secret. He won't tell them his secret. So Nathan young Nathan heads home. His parents, Slim and Red, are arguing. Gene and Scott and Gene, their minds in the future. Anyways, he overhears them arguing for a bit and then says, screw it, and runs off into the woods. Makes himself a fire, and a creature comes after him. He runs away, he runs from it and hollers for his parents, and they don't come. And it attacks his arm. And then his friend shows up. His friend Metis. And the technogenic creature attacks Metis through Nathan's arm. He tries to fix it, but it only makes it worse. And then and Red and Slim show up and save the day, and Metis runs back into the woods. Now a techno-organic monstrosity. And decides that he will follow it. He's going to follow Nathan throughout, everywhere, keep him from ones he loves, wherever he goes in time. In the present, we see Nathan and Hope work together at removing it from the techno-organic creature from Menace, and back into Cable, in fact. And Cable body slides the three of them to the school. Basically, and drops young Metis off at the school, which makes sense as he is a shapeshifter. So, you know. Anyways, this is apparently currently the final issue of Cable, but the issue ends with another extermination prologue. Set in the present. Cable's in a safe house, cleaning weapons. You know, or the timeline anomaly's been detected. He has details. It's reached it from New York City, and gets launched in latitude, and then there's a second. There's multiple ones, and Cable's looking. It's not possible. And now it's apparently there's an imminent threat of timeline stability with a 98.965% chance of probability of deterioration. So now we know that Cable will be involved in the extermination. Anyways, moving on to Hunt for Wolverine, Claws of a Killer, #3. Honestly, I'm still going to say this is probably my least favorite of the 4 Hunt for Wolverine minis. Probably because I don't like the characters involved. Anyway, we start off with Dak in pain, with a bunch of zombies coming out after him. So he wades into him, and then when he sees just a bunch more coming, he runs. Makes it to the gas station that Sabretooth and Lady Deathstrike will hold up in, and climbs onto the roof, which probably caves in. Deathstrike, meanwhile, is saying, we gotta get out of here. Well, Sabretooth kind of notes that there aren't that many ways out, by which he means there are none. So after Dak rejoins them, they argue a bit because they're a bunch of jerks. And but then he does tell them what he knows about what's going on. They have to destroy the glowing device that they've got at the power station. That seems to be what's messing with everyone's healing factor. So they make their run for the power station. One of the soldiers is apparently Lady Deathstrike's father. And he stabbed her. Another one of the soldiers is apparently Sabretooth's long dead son, Graydon. And so they get moving. And the issue ends with Sabretooth manages to get Dak away from the soldiers. turns around and the soldier, who's apparently Sabretooth's, like I said, long deceased son, Hubert, sneaks up on him, and Sabretooth asks the big question: "What are you doing here?" Only answer he gets is clean sweep in T-minus 10 minutes. That's where the issue ends. I think part of what's killing me with this is the art. It's not what I expect. So yeah, it works for being a zombie book, but not superheroes. Anyways, moving on to Infinity Countdown number 5. So okay, this is the final issue of Infinity Countdown. Now you're probably wondering, why haven't I been talking about it previously? Well, I wasn't picking it up. Plain and simple. Anyway, what has gone before? The Infinity Stones were reborn and scattered, passing from hand to hand across the universe through time, transgressing the boundaries between worlds. Adam Warlock ran into Ultron on one world, and they fought a bit. And in fact, Ultron was trying to, basically assimilate the Silver Surfer. Surfer got away and went on Galactus and said, "Hey, man," which I might add, Galactus the Lightbringer, said, "Hey, I know you swore off destroying planets, but there's one that kind of needs it." And so Galactus is like, first, no, I won't do it. He's like, "Hey, look, a deal is struck though, and Galactus destroys the planet, as well as the Ultron rockets. The rockets Ultron sent up in space, which had kind of mini Ultrons. Meanwhile, the Guardians are largely dealing with the defense of the Power Stone, and they eventually found it. They had to take on both the Brotherhood of Raptors and those assholes from the Darkhawk miniseries, and the Chitauri Warbringer, that asshole from the Champions miniseries. But before that, most of them were dealing with one of the Elders of the Universe, the Gardener. And now Groot has gone from being able to, Groot in saving the Gardener went from, I am Groot, to speaking as people normally do, except in the third person. So, start off with an older Gamora and Hank Pym on a planet, destroyed planet, devastated planet, and Pym puts together some kind of communications device and manages to catch the Avengers emergency frequencies. Anyways, so now jumps to New York. Doctor Strange is meditating, and then Black Widow pops in, instructing him to be quiet, hands him a note. Picked up a magic rock. Long story. I think someone is listening through it. And so Doctor Strange uses a tuning fork to hit a crystal of his own. And then tracks listener to be none other than Turk Barrett. And they talk a bit. And of course, Turk has the Mind Stone. Yep. So, anyway, Turk tries to make Dr. Strange forget about him. Doctor's like, yeah, that's not going to work on me. And, they talk a bit. And Turk says, you're making the same mistake both of you. You think just because I used to be Stiltman that I'm some pushover. Which, of course, catches Doctor Strange completely off guard. I was just like, you used to be Stiltman? The Mind was held by a former Stiltman? Turk says, is that so hard to believe? And Doctor Strange says, of course I believe it. No one would lie and say that they used to be Stiltman. So anyway, Turk's got three people standing on the edge of a building. Doctor Strange's like, hey, they're not going to hit the ground, but you will. And those three people step off the building, and Doctor Strange has okay, 3 bodies in 3 seconds. Change one with levitation spell, one with ascension burst of wind, and one with the cloak. Of course, in that 3 seconds, Turk is gone. Turns out, though, that Doctor Strange has an Infinity Stone of his own, the Time Stone, and so he thinks it's probably for the best if he doesn't take the Space Stone from Black Widow. As he feels it's better they should be apart. So the Guardians show up on Obletus to lay low. And they run into Adam Warlock. Oh, and his buddy, Kang. Turns out that part of Gamora is still stuck in the Soul Stone, which Warlock has. She tries to take it from him, but does not go as planned. Drax punches Warlock, knocks him down, takes the stone himself, and sees this. Those are people all around him. And he drops the stone and knocks Gamora back. No. And he then explains that nobody must open the Soul Stone. Drax apologizes for hitting her. Oh, Drax is now a sax player. Drax, the sax player. Yeah. He says that he's tired of guarding the galaxy, and Gamora's quest is too dangerous. Soul Gem, she was a heaven once. Somebody says it no longer looks like that and leaves with Kang and Warlock. Meanwhile, so of course, Gamora says, gotta find where Kang hides immediately. Star-Lord's like, no. Just says he's out. Groot thinks rocks are dumb. Rocket says there's no upside because the Infinity Stones are worth so much that nobody can buy one. You can only take it from dead hands. Gordon says, my old friend betrayed her and left with Kang, and now you three have lost your... Gordon says, my old friend betrayed her and left with Kang, and now you three have lost your spines. Punches Star-Lord, walks and leaves. It says to a bunch of people on Oblitus that those idiots have a priceless Infinity Stone. Have fun. Cut back to Hank Pym talking, communicating through the communicator he's found, and a portal opens up and he goes through, and there's the Avengers. Bruce Banner, Hank McCoy, Reed Richards, The Thing, Vision, Wonder Man, Captain Marvel, Thor, Wasp, Spider-Man, She-Hulk, Captain America, Wolverine, Black Panther. Him and Wasp were reunited, and he realizes he's right where he belongs. And turns out he's wrapped up in the webbing of some creature that then eats him. Not sure if that story took place in the future or in another reality, but either way, I'm leaning towards another reality on account of the fact that the Ultron that was killed by Galactus was a merged version of Ultron and Hank Pym. So yeah. Anyways, so the issue ends with Doctor Strange communicating through the Infinity Stone, and basically, saying, those of you that didn't hear my call to the stone, we must have a parlay, and a danger approaches. He summons a gathering of the Infinity Watch. Earth, midnight, tomorrow in New York Central Park. He guarantees safe conduct for all. And it's critical that we safeguard all. The six of us safeguard the stones because we only have one opportunity to stave off calamity. Of course, we then see, everyone's favorite collector of Infinity Stones sitting on a throne, smiling. Yes, Thanos. The story will be continued in Infinity Wars Prime next week, which also that's Infinity Countdown. Anyways, like I said, that'll be continued next week in Infinity Wars Prime. Moving on to Avengers number 5. So Loki explains to Cap that the first Celestial to ever set foot on Earth did so 4 billion years ago, when this world was still a thoroughly insignificant speck of molten mud. Insignificant and utterly lifeless. The Celestial came, not because of some grand cosmic design of God or godly destiny. It never even consciously chose this world. It came merely because it fell. It fell because it was dying. And basically, Ted Celestial came upon the Horde in space, and it infected him and landed in the muck of Earth, where it vomited and bled and wept radioactive tears, and then slumped over and died. And that sickness seeped into the earth, percolating through this shifting seas of primordial rock and lava, along with the blood and rotting flesh of a nigh omnipotent Alpha Celestial. For millions of years, the infection stewed, the entire planet became diseased, or altering the Earth's evolutionary trajectory. And then turns out that the reason that Earth has been such a hotbed for superpowered madness, and, uniquely eccentric with the near infinite number of planets strewn across the heavens, is because of that bubbling black puddle of celestial regurgitation and the monstrous thing that would come slithering out of it. The Horde. Well, which would later become humanity. And apparently, Ghost Rider's been listening in through his car. As Loki explains that you are a giant cosmic accident, born from death and disease. Cat, replies with, Loki just doesn't get it. It doesn't matter how life started; it only matters what we do with it. What he plans on doing with his is whatever it takes to stop Loki and the final host. We learn that in 1 million BC, another celestial arrived on Earth and found the dead celestial. And turns out that same celestial that arrived to grab the aspirant was something of a lover of the first one that arrived. This time, however, Zagreb was met by Odin and his prehistoric avengers. They bludgeoned the celestial senseless and left it for dead deep within the earth. And then the first host arrived, seemingly took down all of Odin's avengers. But they're like, okay, this is how the earth is. And they realize, oh, there's something here that can kill us. Let's just leave this place alone. However, Zagreb did not die, and the Horde, in fact, changed him into a rabid breed of dark celestial. He's now called Zagreb the Sorrower. And he has since infected and felled every celestial in existence. Anyways, Ghost Rider eventually does show up to save Cap. And meanwhile, the birdies goes up over Earth. Iron Man and Doctor Strange are working together. Iron Man is waiting on the arrival of something called GK2, which is 11 minutes in. It's nearing Earth orbit in 11 minutes inbound. And Tony then gets an incoming call from Ghost Rider. And Tony asks how he got the number. He's like, Howard Stark. And he's like, my dad is dead, pal. Like, yeah, I know. I guess my car talked to him. He says hi. So, Ghost Rider saved Cap from Loki and the Celestials, and but they're not happy about it, and they're trying to. They arrive in Russia with Loki in the trunk of the car. And Loki tells the final host to get him out of this Odin damn trunk and then burn everything they see, starting with the Avengers. And of course, the Avengers go about saving the residents in the Russian town they're near. And then Black Panther and Captain Marvel show up and explain that they have used, that they are both now charged with the same energy as the Horde creatures. So leave the bug for them. Steve explains everything he learned. And then Thor and She-Hulk show up. And two of them share the blood of Ymir to prepare. And we get to see Ghost Rider make a Hellfire tractor while saving people. Of course, Ghost Rider's having this whole moment of, I'm not an Avenger. This is like, I fight drug dealers and the occasional demon, not, space gods. And Cap's just like, hey, man, if you want to leave, I'm not going to stop you. But, if you're going to stay, we're going to all the fire you got. And so he takes over the body of one of the dead celestial bodies, and we get Ghost Celestial. And well, we've now got Iron Man and the giant-size Avengers. Ghost Celestial, Frost Giant Hulk, Frost Giant Thor, and Iron Man and the God Killer Mark II. There's also a comment made at one point by Doctor Strange about just how rich is Iron Man? But Tony says, let's show these Celestials just look when they pick on someone their own size. Also, Tony likes Ghost Rider style. All right, moving on to Quicksilver No Surrender number 3. Basically, here's the origin of Quicksilver the Scarlet Witch. While he tries to save Wanda from one of these creatures, But he takes Wanda, tries to get her somewhere safe from the creature. And puts her in a cave near the Taos Pueblo, and then once again, when the speed creature shows up, he fights it and realizes it's not doing much, so he goes back, runs with Wanda once again, gets all the Avengers safe in a safe room in Avengers Mansion. But now somehow he's managed to get Wanda into the same speed realm that he's in, so she can interact with it. And her hex has managed to weaken the speed creature. And yay, they is partially saved. And she tells me, you got to calm yourself because these creatures are, using your fury, your emotion. And he's been trying to do it his whole life. How do you stop? How is my mind from moving? But then once again, Wanda gets back to the world of normal. There's a residue of one of her hexes. Tiny bit of magic she was able to perform before being snatched from him. They have a turtle. Well, he has a pet turtle, Mr. Dibbles. And so that's hopefully going to help him. So it's an odd series, and it's kind of interesting. It's kind of neat because most of it's just narration from Quicksilver. Anyways, moving on to Spider-Gwen number 34. So she's Gwen has since been released from prison. Her father's recovered. And his neurologist, Dr. Asim Strange, speaks with her and kind of says, make some jokes about would advise that Captain Stacy try out for the Knicks, but then again, it's not like he made them any worse. But it's the state of his mind that concerns him. So Gwen and her dad hang out a bit, and they're going to go get themselves a dollar dog. 30 blocks away. He's like, come on, I'll race you. Yeah, no. Turns out, though, there's a lot of Spider-Gwen merchandise. Oh. Gwen buys one of the hoodies. And they have, they have other things, and part of it being that she's Venom. And but eventually, he has Gwen get her there with her webbing, and they enjoy their dollar dogs, and we see Gwen reunite with the Mary Janes, and there's a suggested tour where basically they go from town to town, and Gwen does her hero thing, just starting with Fresno. Anyways, Gwen goes and saves a firefighter. And that's just gonna keep on keeping on, basically. And this is as this is the final issue of Spider-Gwen. However, she will be returning in Spider-Gwen. However, not sure how much Spider-Gwen I'm going to read. I guess maybe if it seeps into reading your vows, maybe, yeah. But otherwise, probably not. Anyways, final book of the week, Old Man Hawkeye, #7. This is one I've been actually kind of waiting for the last few months. So, it starts off. Virtually the entire issue is 45 years, is set, in the 45 years ago time period, the night that it all went down. So, Clinton, Black Widow, and Hawkeye are on their way to Vegas, Quinjet. Well, they've got a lineup consisting of both Thunderbolts and Avengers. War Machine, Quicksilver, Black Knight, Tigra, Scarlet Witch, Falcon, Thor. And once they say that they're going to have a party in Vegas. And then Magneto destroys their jet while they're in midair. And then something gets into Rhodey's armor after he saves Hawkeye, and kills him. But now there's a bunch of villains there. It's not just Magneto, but also Abomination, Hobgoblin, Sandman, Crossbones, Enchantress. I'm not really sure who that one is. But at first, things go pretty well for the heroes. And of course, Magneto tries to get Wanda to side with it. Well, Wanda and Quicksilver side with him. And she said, I'll oppose you with my dying breath. And he's like, I don't know. See, you don't understand why, my love. The dream is bigger than all of us. And then she's impaled. 'em, and killed. Quicksilver gets knocked down briefly by Sandman. Absorbing Man absorbs her abilities. The electromagnetic abilities that are granted to Magneto briefly from a lightning strike from Thor, which, by the way, he then attacks Thor and knocks him through one of the hotels on the strip. So he beat on him. Well, they beat on each other. And then Thor drops his hammer. Now, interesting side note, and Old Man Logan has said that this particular place is now known as Hammerfall because it's where Thor's hammer fell. So anyways, Hawkeye leads the charge of the combined Thunderbolts and Avengers. And then Moonstone, who's part of the combined Thunderbolts Avengers team, shoots and kills Falcon. Enchantress takes the ebony blade from Black Knight and decapitates Tigra. Atlas picks up Black Knight and then picks up the ebony blade and runs him through with it. And then Atlas steps on Quicksilver. And then while basically Clint has what the hell's going on, and while Black Widow's trying to snap him out of it, she gets run through by Citizen V, who reveals himself to be none other than Baron Zemo. And they tell Zemo, no, when Hawkeye asks, he says, kill me and get it over with. Zemo says, kill you? How on earth would I do that? We killed off all real heroes. And the last page is the now on the present for the comic. Because Clint's been telling Kate Bishop what happened. She never knew. He tells her he's gonna put an arrow through Zemo's throat before he goes blind to make this world a little bit more just. And we still have a huge advantage. They don't know we're coming. But it turns out that a drone was watching. The drone is controlled by Baron Zemo. So Zemo knows. Oh, that issue was, whew, it was something, man. It was something, guys. Whew. Anyway, that's it for this week's live stream. We'll be back next week, of course, with let's see, X-Men Blue should be out, as should Infinity War's Prime, and then of course, X-23 #2 will be out as well. But yeah. And Mystery Magic Report #3, as well as others. So anyways, that's it for this week. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon. Follow me on social media. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon in the description box down below. This is Rock Box signing off, and live long and rock hard.